nothing but the pumpkins glow. Flip-flops on, but I'm feeling that spooky flow. Craft supplies, scattered papers in a heap. Junk journaling magic, where the memories creep. It's Halloween in August, and celebrate the night. With flowers and ghosts, everything feels just right. Sipping on cider while the fireflies dance. In my junk journal world, I'll take a chance. Summer nights whisper with a haunted breeze. Mason jars glowing, filled with memories. Witches and sunshine in a playful embrace. Stickers and washi tape, I'm lost in this space. It's Halloween in August, let's celebrate the night. With flowers and ghosts, everything feels just right. Sipping on cider while the fireflies dance. In my junk journal world, I'll take a chance. Crafting my stories with a splash of delight. Spooky collages under the pale moonlight. Bats made of paper and candy corn too. Every page a treasure, every moment feels new. Bonfire crackles with a hint of sweet fright. Summer's still here, but the spirits take flight. Mixing the seasons in a colorful blend. In my junk journal world, the fun never ends. It's Halloween in August, let's celebrate the night. With flowers and ghosts, everything feels just right. Sipping on cider while the fireflies dance. In my junk journal world, I'll take a chance. So here's to the magic of summer's last glow. With a sprinkle of Halloween, let the creativity flow. In this junk journal journey, I'll always find a little bit of spooky and a whole lot of kind.
Hi and welcome to my Halloween in August paper premiere. Halloween in August. Does this topic give you goosebumps because it's still too early for Halloween in August? Then stay tuned, because this is probably a little bit different than you might think. Hi, this is Luisa Heinzel. Thank you very, very much for joining me today for this very special video. This is the first paper premiere on my YouTube channel. And perhaps you might ask, what the heck is a paper premiere? I got you, I can hear you. So a paper premiere is something special. Today, in this premiere, you will see this year's Halloween papers from my shop for the very first time. I will show you everything new in my shop related to Halloween in detail in this video. And this video is also a YouTube premiere, so that is something that you can do on YouTube, a video as a premiere. And that means there's a live chat besides or below this video, depending on the device you are using. So if you see this video, then search for the chat, please, because in that chat we can chat. So we can hang around together while this video is playing, and then we can chat in the chat. Is that English? I have no idea. I thought that is a cool idea, because then we can interact with each other and talk about the things you see in this video. And of course, I'm really happy to be able to meet you on this way, having the chat there, so then we can have a little fun time talking about some Halloween papers. Just a little technical note for you. I have pre-recorded this video, so that means what you see here is not live. It's not a live video. It was pre-recorded, but the chat, of course, is live. I just wanted to mention that if you are perhaps new to premiere videos on YouTube, then you might not know that, and I don't want you to be confused. So that means you have the chance to ask questions or write something in the chat. If you ask a question, then you will see me answering the question in the chat, but you will not hear me talking about that topic in the video, because that is not possible. I'm sitting here and recording this, and then a little bit later you see that, and for you it's now later. Do you know what I mean? But of course you can ask something in the chat, and then I will write the answer into the chat so that you then can read that there. I'm really, really happy that we can do this here together, because I'm a little bit nervous what you will think about my new papers and what you will think about my idea behind this new paper collection from my shop, which is, by the way, also called Halloween in August. That makes sense, doesn't it? So the starting point for the idea behind my new paper collection was that I thought Halloween in August, isn't that too early? I want summer, I want sun and beach and vacation and everything summer. Do you know what I mean? And if you feel like that as well, then I can only say I got you, and I am so close to this feeling. But somehow this concept of Halloween in August and all of those projects that are related to this concept have become, established over the years. And many crafters create Halloween projects in August. Perhaps you have seen that. If you search for Halloween in August on YouTube, you will find a ton of projects from other YouTube creators. And this caption, Halloween in August, is something that we all know. I mean, if you're new to junk journaling, then you perhaps haven't heard about it. But if you make journals for a longer time, then you know that Halloween in August is something, yeah, that happens. Yeah, and that is there on YouTube. So I thought, why don't we take both of those topics, Halloween and August/summer, and combine that in a digital paper? So what I have seen on YouTube are, under this caption Halloween in August, are just Halloween projects that are created in August. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean that bad. I love all of those projects. I really like Halloween, and I can craft Halloween projects the whole year. Yeah, so that is no problem for me. But all of those things are like, typical Halloween projects, but in August. But why don't we take this summer theme and combine that with Halloween? And that is the idea behind my new paper collection, which is called Halloween in August. I have taken summery elements and combined those with Halloweenish elements. So that means this idea resulted in a summery Halloween paper, or if you prefer, a Halloweenish summer paper. So as you can see here, I have already prepared a junk journal using my new paper collection, Halloween in August, and a few other things. I will go into detail about that in a few seconds. And perhaps you might think, why is here already a bound junk journal? That is something that we haven't seen so often on Louise's channel. That is completely true. Normally, if I show you a new paper collection from my shop, I take the paper directly from my printer, I put it to my table, and then I show you the single sheets which are included in the paper collection. But this time I thought I want to do this whole thing a little differently, and that is because of your feedback under other videos, and yeah, that is because of your wishes, what you want to see here, and of course, your wish is my command. So the main reason why I did this is because I think it is easier to imagine how the papers look in a journal if you have a journal in front of you instead of a loose paper collection that you have taken out from your printer. And of course, I want to show you how the papers can look if you make a journal from them, because they are meant to make a journal. Yeah, so that is one reason. And I also want to show you how versatile and limitless junk journaling can be. In this journal, you will hopefully see how seemingly incompatible, I'm learning English. I'm trying to learn new words. I'm so sorry. Seemingly incompatible themes can work wonderfully combined. Halloween and sunflowers? Why not? Autumn and summer? Absolutely. Why not? You can do what you want in your junk journal. There's no junk journal police or something like that, where someone comes and says, that is not possible. You can't combine Halloween and sunflowers. You can. Why? Because it's your journal and because you do you. So let's discover together what this is, how this is made, what the different components are, and let's dive into some ideas and inspiration, what you could do with, somehow, what was the word? Incompatible themes in your own journal. Of course, that doesn't have to be summer and Halloween. That can also be something totally different. The possibilities of combining different themes, of course, are endless, and I can't make a list because then this video would take 4 years or so to finish. But I think you know what I mean by saying let's combine different themes, and you can combine whatever you want because it's your journal and it's your creative process, of course. So let's dive into this journal first by closing it. And I want to talk about the components this journal is made from. And I also want to give you some inspiration regarding to materials and mediums you could combine, especially things you already might have or find in your stash or in your trash can. And there's also one specific printable from my shop, which in my opinion is the perfect match for the Halloween in August paper set. That is one that many of you have already bought from my shop. So stay tuned if you want to know which one it is. Perhaps you have already had this, how do you say that, this light bulb moment, and you have already this idea in your mind, and perhaps you already know which paper set it is. If not, stay tuned. But let's start with the construction of the journal. That's why I have closed it a second ago, because I know that many of you always are interested in the measurements and how I made this whole thing. So this is a hardcover. The material under this fabric is just a piece of a leftover I had from a sketchbook. You know, this last cardboard paper, which you have there. It's a really, you know, heavy material. It's a little bit flexible, but it's really, really sturdy. You could also use some food packaging, for example, or something that you find in your trash can. Or what also would be possible is this gray cardboard material. You know, I think it's cardboard and not cardstock, is it? Yeah, I think the right word is cardboard, yeah, this heavy material. But here you can basically use what you want. You could also take an old book cover, you know, from a real book, take the pages out and then make the cover out of that, also possible. This is a fabric I got in a Happy Mail, and when I saw that fabric, I mean, to the person who has sent this to me, oh my goodness, when I have taken this out from the package, I was like, holy cow, what is that? I mean, obviously, great minds think alike. Is that the saying? Yeah, I think that is what I want to say. When I saw that, I was like, this is the perfect fabric for this project. When I got the fabric, I already had the papers on my computer, and I was like in heaven with this fabric. So this whole journal is a little bit bigger than DIN A5. And that is something a little bit weird if you don't know the measurements we have here in Europe. So I'm in Germany here, yeah? So let me quickly explain that. When I print out my printables, I print them to this DIN A4 sheet of paper. Then I fold the paper in half, and then I get DIN A5. So this is DIN A4, this is DIN A5. But with US letter size paper, you can think the same things. US letter size, the half of US letter size, and then you have the size of your pages, and then you can determine this little space here, which you have here on the top, the bottom, and here, where the cover is a little bit bigger than the pages. Of course, you can make the cover exactly the same size like the pages are, but I prefer having this little distance here. And this here is just 1/4 of an inch here on the top and here on the side and also on the bottom. So the cover is then a quarter of an inch bigger here, here and here than the pages are. I have a total of 5 signatures in this journal, and each signature has 5 papers folded in half. So let me quickly explain that in detail, because sometimes there's confusion with the words pages and papers. Yeah, so it's more pages than it's papers. Yeah, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the middle of the signature. You can see the thread from the binding here. And here, of course, is the second half of those 5 papers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 papers folded in half. This is one signature. I have 5 of those in the journal. And then the most of you always want to know the distance between the signatures, and I totally get that. So here, between the front cover and the first signature, there's a quarter of an inch distance. The same here on the back. So I have a smaller distance between the cover pieces and the first and the last signature. And here the distance is a little bigger. So this is half of an inch distance between the signatures. I hope that makes sense. If not, please write in the chat that it's not clear, and I will try to clarify that somehow. Okay, so let's then talk about the Halloween in August paper collection, which you can find in my shop. I have a total of 3 different items in my shop, which you can mix and match. And I did that because of your feedback. So what is that? The first item is called Halloween in August Junk Journal Pages. The second one is called Halloween in August Ephemera Pack. And the third one is called Halloween in August Junk Journal Kit. So what is that? The Halloween in August Junk Journal Pages is a total of 20 pages to print, and the pages are these full-size pages. So you will get these characters here on some of the pages, and also these summary images, but it's basically all of the things that you can see in this journal which are printed on these full pages here. There is a little bit confusion going around with the sizes of the papers we have in the world. This is printed on DIN A4 paper. That is the size of paper I have here in Germany, and which is, I think, the most common in Europe. This is a DIN A4 sheet of paper. You might have US letter size in your area, and I quickly want to point out that you, of course, can print DIN A4 to US letter size. I get a lot of questions about that because it seems that some of you think that it is not possible, technically not possible, to print DIN A4 to US letter size. But that is not true. It is possible. So you can take the DIN A4 file and just take a US letter size paper. Imagine, please, this was US letter size. I don't have US letter size paper here. I can't get it here in my area. But please imagine this was US letter size. If you then print DIN A4 to your US letter size paper, you will get a white border on the left and the right, or depending on your printer, perhaps only on the left or on the right. And then you can just cut this white border off, or you can decorate it. You can just glue some washi tape on that white border, or you can paint it with paint or ink it. Yeah, but it is technically possible to print DIN A4 to US letter size paper. Yeah, so that is clear. So the junk journal pages, I wanted to have them really like Halloweenish, but at the same time summary. So that is why I have mixed these characters with some sunflowers. But there are also pages which are like, you know, let me quickly search for one here, for example, which are like only summer. Yeah, so you could also say I take these summary pages and make a summer journal without any Halloween characters. So you have possibilities to mix and match with only the junk journal pages already as well. Yeah, so you don't have to print everything to make a journal, everything from this collection, I mean. You can also say, I want to have a sunflower journal, then just print the sunflower pages. There are also some really neutral pages, like this one here, for example, with patterns which are also on purpose very, very light, so that you have the possibility to journal on these pages or to color them. Yeah, I mean, this is really neutral, so you can imagine taking some pens or embossing a glaze or whatever and color these pages. So I'm really hoping that these pages, and of course also the ephemera, give you the possibility to have a really crazy contrast between the themes Halloween and summer. And on the other hand, something that is seamless and that gives this flow and a really cool combination within such a journal. Then there's the second item, which is called the Halloween in August ephemera pack. And with that, you can get a ton of different ephemera like tags, journaling cards, and also pockets, belly bands, and things like banners, for example. You can find these journaling cards, for example, which you can take as journaling cards or turn into pockets, like I have done it here. The tags have different shapes and sizes, so that you can mix and match with those as well. And you can just print that out, cut it out, and then just throw it into your journal and it will fit the rest. And the third item you can find in my shop is the Halloween in August junk journal kit. And that means you get the pages and the ephemera in one item. So that means you can choose if you want to have only the pages. Perhaps you have already matching ephemera in your stash and you think, okay, I need pages, but I don't need ephemera because I already have ephemera which would match this theme. Then you can, if you want, take just the pages. Perhaps you say, I already have a Halloween journal and I need ephemera, then you can take the ephemera pack. And if you think, okay, I want to have a journal like Louise has on her desk, then you can take the kit and make a similar journal with those components from the kit, like I have here on my desk. I hope that makes sense. Many of you ask me which papers from my shop you could combine with each other. Especially when I release a new paper collection, that is a question I get all the time. You say, okay, I want to buy this, but I want to buy more from your shop. And of course, I find that so cute and that is really supportive, of course. But you say, what can I combine with this new paper collection that you have just released? So that is why I want to give you some recommendations now for papers from my shop, from your stash, from the trash can or from the flea market or so, which would match this Halloween in August collection. What I say now is, of course, only my personal opinion, and it can only be some bits and pieces, some ideas, because if I would make a list of all of the things you could combine with this, the list would be just endless, because I think you could combine everything with this, because what are we doing here? We are junk journaler and we make a junk journal, and in a junk journal you can do what you want. But of course, and that is something I totally get, there are things that would match better than others. So let's talk about the things I think which would match really, really well to this. So the first thing that comes to mind are sunflowers, of course. So everything with sunflowers, I would say, would be perfect as a combination with the Halloween in August paper. As you can see, here are already a lot of sunflowers, but perhaps you have some scrapbooking paper, or perhaps you have some, that is something that would be really cool, I think. Perhaps you have some napkins with sunflowers. Imagine you would decoupage some napkins over the printables. That could be really, really cool. Doesn't have to be sunflowers. It could also be something else, but sunflowers would be great, I would say. Then I would think everything with fog would fit really well. As you can see, I have some pages where there's a foggy scenario here on the border. Here are some trees which look really, really foggy. And I also made something where I thought that is a cool idea. I'm a little bit proud of myself. Let me just search for one page where you can see that really, really well. I think here in the beginning there's one. Here, for example, can you see this white fog here? I wanted to have something that is really, really Halloweenish, and I think everything foggy is good for Halloween. But at the same time, I wanted to have summer, of course, because of this crazy combination. So I made a fog that is a flower fog. As you can hopefully see, here are some flowers in the fog. So perhaps you want to think about such an effect. You could do something like this on other pages with just the simplest tools and mediums. Imagine you take a page where this where you don't have this fog. For example, the pages with these the page with these sunflowers here. Take a stencil with flowers and then take a medium like, for example, Lost Shadow Oxide ink. I think that would be the perfect medium for reaching this effect. And stencil with the Lost Shadow Oxide ink through the stencil and choose a stencil which has flowers. And then you could make your own foggy effect on those pages where it is not in the print. Do you know what I mean? That could look really, really cool. And of course, you could also do that to pages you have added to your journal from your stash or from the trash can. Yeah, that would be possible on these, like, for example, coffee dyed pages as well. Then I think everything rusty would fit really, really well to the Halloween in August paper collection. Here you can see some photo paper. I have thrown just some rust on here. Here it is not so extreme, but I have another page where you can see that really, really extremely. I think everything brown and orange would fit really well. Here, for example, there's a page with some rust as well. I have just taken, this is a normal paper, just a normal copy paper, and then I have thrown some rusty pieces on here, sprayed some vinegar and water. And I think here's additionally also some coffee on this paper. If you mix coffee with rust, you get this dark color here, nearly like, yeah, this is not so extreme, but nearly black. Here, for example, I have also taken a photo paper and some rusty pieces. And this here, I guess, because I made this paper a long time ago, I had that still in my stash, so I can't remember so well, but I think that this is some crackling campfire oxide ink, but I'm not so sure. But everything orange you might have, ink, spray or something like that, would fit really well, of course, because we have a ton of orange in the papers, in the printed papers as well. And of course, a great color, which is like a more neutral color, would be gray. Yeah, there's a ton of gray in the printables as well, so that would be a color that would fit really well as well. Perhaps you think I like these characters here, but I want to have some alternative or additional focal points. So let's talk about what we could use for that. I think birds would be really, really good for this. Especially blackbirds. But blackbirds and Halloween, that is obvious, isn't it? So I thought perhaps you want to have some more unusual focal points. Then perhaps you want to think about some butterflies. I mean, perhaps for some of you that's obvious as well. But I think butterflies would fit really, really well. Or even moths. That is like more typical Halloween perhaps, but that is a great thing I would say as well. You could use some stamps or stencils or die cuts with these animals. Or what you also could use as additional focal points are bats, of course. I think there are many stamps available with bats. You could use those as, where is this page? as additional decoration for your pockets or belly bands as well. Where is this page where Here, for example, I have taken this giant tag from the printable and turned that into a belly band. And then I have taken a stamp. These bats are just stamped with some black archival ink. I think that looks really cool, and that makes this, you know, this flow where then the belly band gets one with the page here. I really like that, to stamp, you know, over the thing here. And then you can take something and put that behind here. And of course, everything that you might have, like Halloween stamp sets with spider webs and other things, or creepy creatures or whatever, would fit here really, really well. And if you are searching for additional papers you could use, yeah, as you can see, this is not a printed page. This is just the photo paper with the rusty effects. You could even take some eco-dyed papers. I think that would fit really, really well as well. Some coffee-dyed or tea-dyed papers. I mean, that is something that would always fit, yeah, to nearly any journal, I would say. But what you also could do is you could do some fake eco-dyeing, like I did on this little paper here. I have a video about this technique on my channel as well. There's a whole playlist which is called Magic with Matte Photo Paper. So this is matte photo paper and oxiding. And perhaps you can see that these are Christmas die cuts. But who cares? These are plants, and this fits, and the colors fit really well. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have other themes like Christmas related stuff, throw that into your journal. Why not? If this fits, who says that I can't put that into my journal? Yeah, that is a really important thing for me that I want to bring to you, that you don't overthink those things. If you like that, and if you think this fits and this is a really Halloweenish thing, even if these are like little Christmas plants, yeah, who cares? If you like it, then do it, because it's your journal, and as Tim would say, you do you. A few minutes ago, I said that there's a perfect match for the Halloween in August paper collection in my shop, and I think the most of you have already guessed which one it is, because there are so many people who have already bought the paper collection I'm talking about, and that is the Dried Gatherings collection. If you don't know that set, I will give you some pictures here so that you can hopefully immediately see that that would be the perfect match for the Halloween in August collection. So why am I telling you that? The first thing is, of course, I want to answer the question which papers would match, yeah, which papers from my shop would match. But I'm also telling you that because so many of you have already bought the Dried Gatherings collection when it came out. Thank you very, very much for that. That was a really, really popular set. And of course, I'm totally happy with that, about that, because, you know, when many of you buy that set, why is this glued down? Then I know that it is, oh no, then, okay, we have a glued, no, oh, holy cow. Thank you for your support, and thank you for buying the Dried Gatherings collection, and thank you for making me happy, because if I see that many of you buy it, then that means many of you like it, and of course that makes me happy. This doesn't make me happy, but I will solve this problem. If you would, for example, take the Dried Gatherings paper collection and combine that with the Halloween in August collection, then from my point of view, the focus of the journal would go more into the summer theme. Yeah, but perhaps you would like to have the focus more on the Halloween side of this whole thing. Then you could perhaps think about adding more Halloween stuff and like typical Halloween stuff. And if you don't have something like that, I have something for you from my shop as well. And that is this. Perhaps some of you have already seen this. This is already listed since a few weeks. These are the Vintage Photo Strips Halloween edition. Perhaps you know my normal Vintage Photo Strips. If not, the link is down below in the description box. But I made a Halloween edition with some really creepy characters. And, you know, this is something that is like typical Halloween, but there are also some images which have a tiny, tiny little bit of this summer theme and a tiny little bit of orange, so that it fits really well to the Halloween in August collection as well. And these strips you can use in so many different ways, and I already have seen so many projects with the normal vintage photo strips. I make this because what is normal. You have found so many ideas already that is just amazing. So these are meant to either cut them into strips or squares or whatever you want. So let's say you need it's stuck here. You need a journaling card, then you could cut 4 pictures from this, or you could cut 6 if you need a bigger journaling card. You could cut it vertically to make a belly band like this, or even wider like this. You could cut it horizontally. You could also make a little accordion thingy just by cutting one of these strips and then folding it like an accordion to make a little fold out accordion ephemera thingy. How is that called? I don't know. But the possibilities with these are endless. Of course, you could also take the single photos and use them somewhere as tiny journaling cards, or cut the corners and make tiny tags or whatever. You could even, you know, take this and fold it like so. Then you have at the same time a back side. Yeah, sew around or just glue it. You could even cut the corners here to make a little tag from this, and you have at the same time the front and the back. Yeah, the possibilities are nearly endless. So that is also something that you could use. I have some of those in the journal already. I have a little orientation problem here. So here, for example, I turned 2 of the photos into a tag. You have also seen some belly bands made from those vintage photo strips Halloween edition. And I think that makes it even more creepy. And I really like that, especially on this summery background I have here. I think that is a really nice combination. Okay, so that's that. Let's then talk about some different surfaces you could use to print out your digitals. Because a digital printable paper collection can not only be printed on a sheet of paper, but also on other materials like, for example, acetate or vinyl. And that gives you the possibility to change the whole character of the printable paper collection. And of course, with different surfaces you print on, you get a ton of different things from one and the same paper collection. So let's talk about the basics and what I have used here. These full pages here are all printed on matte photo paper. That gives me the possibility to get a really good contrast, and especially the details come out really nicely on matte photo paper. This is 110 GSM I have used for the pages, and for the, this is something different, for the pockets, for example, and for the tags and the other ephemera, let's say for printing the ephemera pack, that is easier to understand, I have used some photo paper as well, but this is 200 GSM. So this is how it came out from my printer. I have done nothing on the back because I wanted to show you how this can come out if you just take what you have and make a journal. Yeah, so this is not finished yet, obviously, but it's still, no, it's already sturdy enough to use it like it is. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I like 200 GSM for the ephemera, but this is also photo paper. Of course, printing on copy paper would also work. I think that is like personal taste. Yeah, what you like better. For me, photo paper is better, but of course you can also try to print on copy paper. I can recommend to try different brands and different qualities of paper, no matter if it's copy paper or photo paper, to find your favorite paper. No matter if it's photo paper or copy paper, it doesn't always have to be only paper what you take and put into your printer to print your digitals. You could also think about some transparencies to print on. So this little pocket here, for example, is printed on an overhead transparency. That means that it is now translucent, and that you can not only see what is on the page here through the acetate, it gets a really cool mixture of the print and the background, but you can also take something and put that in here, and then you have this cool effect. I really like to move this around, and depending on the image you have here, you can get really, really different things from that. Here, for example, I have first stamped to this page with this little flower stamp here and the spider webs, and then I have printed the pockets from the Halloween in August ephemera pack to the overhead transparency. The sunflowers here are on the pocket. Let me quickly take something white and put that in here so that you can see what is on the pocket. So this is on the acetate. Can you see? And when you then, so now when the pocket is empty, you have this mixture of the sunflowers and the stamping in the background. And if you then take something and put that in here, you get this mixture of the images. Of course, you get a mixture of what is on the pocket and what is on the tag, and you can play around with this and, you know, have it only a little bit on the tag or on the whole tag. You can cover the stamping with the tag and you can play around with that, and I really, really like that. If you flip through the journal, and you can explore different things. You can also make somehow invisible pockets with printing on overhead transparency. Here, for example, if I take the tags out and you look to this page, you nearly can't see that here is a pocket. And when you then put the tags in here, you can see, oh, here is something. And depending on the color of the tag, or the let's say the lightness or darkness of the tag, I don't know how I can say that, but let me demonstrate what I mean. If I take this out and take something white and put that in here, so something light, yeah, then you can suddenly see this really, really extremely. Isn't this just cool? And of course, you can also think about some really cool effects you could do with some pieces you put in here, and then you can move them around and have a little play with just this pocket and something that you can put in there. And I really, really like that effect. And what I also really like is, you can, for example, let's take this tag. This is printed on 200 GSM photo paper, so no acetate, but somewhere here I have the same tag printed on the overhead transparency. So as you can see, this is one and the same tag. I printed it twice. This is the 200 GSM photo paper, and this is the overhead transparency. So this is translucent. So you could take this, of course, and take something else and back that with something else. I have another tag from the journal here where I did exactly that, really easy peasy. Overhead transparency, a piece of an old letter, and I've just put that together like this, and then I've sewn around, no glue involved, just sewn around, and then I have this cool look where you can then see this writing coming through the overhead transparency. If you don't have something like this, or if you don't want to do that, let me quickly show you something else that you could do with printing one and the same thing twice. Yeah, so this is opaque, of course. This is translucent. Take this, turn this around, just upside down. Take that and put that over here and be amazed. Please tell me that you also find this really cool. When I look at this, I'm so in love with these new colors, these new shapes. This looks so interesting, and it's, you know, it's just one and the same thing upside down and then like this. Can you see? And that works with many of the images from the ephemera pack. I think it's a little bit like, you know, you have to play around with that and see what works for you and what not. Some of these images are better for this little effect, and Others are perhaps a little bit difficult for that, but play around and see what you like. Here, for example, I can see a little butterfly. I mean, imagine you would turn this into a butterfly. That would be just cool. Or what you also could think about is take a page in your journal where you, for example, have a character like on this little tag, and then take the overhead transparency and, you know, make something like a little mechanism or so where you could move this. Imagine here was something where you know, have something like a pull thingy here and you could move this. Let's think about some, perhaps some card maker mechanisms. Do you know what I mean? Those, all of you who are card makers know those card mechanisms where something can move and then you can do something like this. I find that really, really interesting and cool. I have to think about how this could work. I mean, you could even make like something like a really easy flip thingy, yeah, so that it is like this, and then you can flip it open like this, and then you can see the character here. You could even cut something out from here. Imagine you want to give him like a flower head or so. I mean, look, imagine you would just cut the flower out here. That would look really, really cool. Or what you also could do is you could use the sunflowers, for example, to cut out some wings. And perhaps you have some characters where you think they need wings. I mean, if you know me, you know that I always, or nearly always, have to put wings to, for example, paper dolls or other characters. But look, if you imagine to cut this flower out, then that is the perfect wing. Of course, you would have to manipulate this page a little bit to make that work. You would have to cut that out, of course, and glue the wings behind her. Yeah, but I think you can imagine what I mean. And of course, you could take those kinds of pieces here, printed on the overhead transparency, also to make new ephemera that would work with the paper materials, of course, as well. You can always take everything and make something new. But I think with the transparency, you have even more possibilities also because this is plastic. Yeah, and I really like to have different things to touch in my journal as well. Different materials, I mean. And what I then tried out is something that you haven't seen on my channel yet. That's new to me as well. And I find that really, 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 really fascinating. You have seen me already using some holographic vinyl paper. This is made with that paper as well. Here in the beginning of the journal, I have also this paper, holographic vinyl. This is from the Translucent Flower Whispers set, and I've printed that on here. As you can see, this has this holographic effect. And there's also, and this is not only with the holographic effect, it's also a sticker, and it's vinyl paper. And there's also something available, where is it? Which is also a sticker, also somehow plastic. I don't know if it's called vinyl as well, but it's like a sticker, and it's golden. I will show you the blank thing. I can only show you a piece of that because on the back I have made some experiments which I don't want you to see yet. This is also really Halloweenish, what you can see now. Oh! Do you want to make a screenshot? No, hopefully not. I have to move so that you don't have a chance to make a screenshot. But this is what the paper looks when it comes from the package. So this is, you know, also not really paper. It's a sticker material, printable, gold. And when you then print the ephemera on there, it's like this. And this is really... Holy moly. Have you ever managed to sneeze at the same time when your doorbell was ringing? What a coincidence. So yeah, I'm back. I'm so sorry. So this is really, really, really cool, especially with printables which have a ton of orange. And the camera can't really catch how beautiful this looks. It looks a little bit greenish here somehow, but in reality it isn't green. This is really like a brownish orange, and I have tried everything to catch that with my camera. I've already experienced this problem when I recorded my German video. So I can tell you this is not the reality. If you want to have a good play with your printer and different materials to print on, then please just buy some golden sticker paper. I will try to link this one here down below in the description box for you, and just play around. It's way more gorgeous than this, please. Please believe me. And of course with this you have a ton of possibilities as well. Here, this little belly band I have shown you in the beginning, where I stamped the beds. It's also made by printing on the golden sticker paper, and then I have just sewn around here so that I could make sure that the sticker itself doesn't come off from this, you know, I have just taken the backing from the sticker. It's just the material, yeah. I haven't peeled the sticker off, yeah. You could do that, of course, but I have just used the material itself because I wanted to know how sturdy it is, and this is just perfect. You can just use it. You don't have to use it as a sticker. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you think I don't want to have something like vinyl or acetate in my journal, you could even think about some vellum to print on. Then you would also get a translucent look like with the overhead transparency, for example, but then you don't have plastic. Yeah, so that is perhaps an alternative if you don't want to use plastic in your journal. As you could see while I was flipping through this journal, here hasn't happened so much yet with stencils, stamps and die cuts. And if you know me, you know that I need those things in my journals. But with this video, I wanted to show you what you can get when you take the printables out from your printer, take some other elements from your stash, combine that and throw that into a journal cover. So that's what you can see here, a blank, naked, raw journal. And this journal now is ready for some creative play. You will see this journal again in some of my future videos, and there I would like to show you what you could do with such a journal once you have bound the pages into the cover. So that means you will see some ideas for stenciling, for stamping, for using die cuts and other things from my stash and from the trash can and you know what I can find. I will show you some ideas what you could do if you have a finished journal in front of you, because that is also a question I get so often. What can I do in a journal once I have finished it? Yeah, once I have, I mean with finished, I mean once I have bound the signatures into the cover. What can I then do? What can I do with such a blank page? How can I make this journal into my very own journal? Because that is also a thing. I have this here now, and of course it's on my desk and it's my journal here at the moment. But how can I turn this into my very own unique piece of art? And how can I make this my own? And that is something I want to show you in the future videos when you will see this journal again. And I'm really hoping that you will join me. And of course, I'm hoping that you like this new paper collection. If you want to go shopping now, then I wish you a lot of fun. Thank you very much for your support and for being here together with me today. And have a very great and creative day. See you the next time. Bye bye.